Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
Good morning and welcome to our Tai Chi class today. All you need for this class is a chair with a little space to either side, preferably with no arms, and then we're ready to get started. Now, before we start, I just want you to know you don't have to learn anything. You don't have to remember anything. All you have to do is go with the flow. If I go this way and you go this way, no worries. We'll meet back in the middle. It doesn't matter. I like to start with my feet about hip width apart. I'm just going to rest my hands on my knees, sit up nice and tall, and take a deep breath in. And then out. And then one more, in. And out. On this next one, I'm going to inhale, sitting up nice and tall, and then as I exhale, sliding my hands right down off my knees, and then right back up. Forward and back, matching my breathing. Slow and gentle, just feeling the fabric of my pants, the firmness of my knees underneath, the bony parts and the squishy parts. Waking everything up. Now on this next one, as I come back up, I'm going to turn my hands over so that the back of my hands slide up my shins and then flip back down to come over my thighs. You can turn your palms in or out, whatever feels most comfortable in your wrists. It doesn't matter. And then from here, we're going to slide off the end and float straight up. Coming in, sinking back down to open the door. Beautiful. Now this time, as our hands come down to our lap, we're going to flip over, palms up, and then drip right off the sides of our legs, come up towards the corners, and circle in for sinking the chi. Flipping over, melting off the sides, thick and heavy like candle wax. One more here. And then this time, our hands are going to slide off the edges and come up to circle in. But then they're going to open back out nice and wide like a big hug. One hand is going to scoop down and under, sliding across our lap as the other hand circles on top. And then we're going to open nice and wide, adding in a little heel lift. Our heels sink as our hands close in. And then rise up again as our hands open wide, still breathing. Beautiful, nice big hug. And then gather everything in like you're holding a big ball. Last one here. And then we're going to come right back in to sinking the chi. Keeping that little heel raise going. So as our hands float up, our heels float up. Remembering our palms flip up and then melt down nice and heavy. And you may notice my whole body rising and falling like an ocean wave, stretching long as I rise up and then softening down. Last one here. And then my hands float right back off the ends of my knees, floating up in front of me, elbows pull in just a little. And then we're going to start a little sway side to side, shifting in your seat, feeling your body weight, like you're dancing in your chair, swaying cheek to cheek. And then when you get over to the next corner, you're going to pause there and then pull in and then push back out. Pulling in and pushing out. One more. And then hovering out, going over to the other corner, swaying back and forth just a little. And then in that second corner, pausing, pulling in, and then pushing back. Just a gentle push and pull. And then back to the other corner, swaying softly, like a tree in the breeze. On that first corner, we're going to pull in again, and this time we're going to tap our foot in and then out, nice and big. How big? It doesn't matter. However much feels good to you. One more here. And then pulling your hands in and your foot in. Take your time. Floating back out to that corner. Going back to your slow drift. And then when you get to the second corner, pulling your hands in and your foot. And then right back out for that push and pull. Like the tide coming in and flowing back out. Smooth and steady. Last one here. And then hands and feet pull back in. Right back out. Drift into the middle, make a big hug. Open wide. And sink the chi. One more. And then your hands slide off the front of your knees again. Floating right back up. Drifting just a little side to side. And then as your hands reach the opposite corner, you're going to tap your heel out, toes up, and then pull it in. And then same thing on the other side. tapping the heel. Tapping the heel. Beautiful. Now we're going to add in a hand. Tap the heel and wave to the neighbors. Bring it all back in and go to the other side. Tap and wave. Tap and wave. Now on this next one, we're going to add the second hand in. So tapping and waving, and then the other hand swooshes under for play the peepaw. Pulling everything back in, drift to the other side, tap, wave, and swoosh. Now we're going to add one final step. From here, our palms turn up, everything circles around, and we come straight into that same position on the other side. Playing our peepaw, our little Chinese lute. I think they're actually pretty big. The pictures I've seen have it this whole distance. What's like a giant stringed instrument. But you can play whatever size peepaw you want to. Totally up to you. Now from here, we're going to leave that foot out there. Circle those hands in to hold the ball again. Then we're going to take the top hand, put it down on the side of the chair or on your lap, wherever feels good. And then just throwing that ball right out and away. Sweep that hand out and then back. Right back to our steady, slow movements. Like the tide, like the ocean waves, going in and out. Adding that top hand in, and it's just pressing straight down through the water. Coming right down to rest on our leg, and then circling right back up. Beautiful. One more here. And then that bottom hand sneaks up, and we come right back in to play the peepaw. Still breathing. And then leaving that foot out there. Hands circle around to hold the ball. Take the top hand, put it away, and then throwing the ball the other direction. Beautiful. Leaning forward and back, slowly and gently. That other hand comes back into play. Just like you're pushing it down through the water, feeling just a little bit of resistance, just that little bit of drag. The cool ocean water soothing you. Clear and beautiful. You see the sand in the bottom, your toes sinking into it. Last one here. And then that other hand sneaks up and under. Play the peepaw. From here, circling those hands back around, hold the ball. This time we're going to take that other foot and step it back just a little bit extra, and then right into both hands. Leaning forward, and then coming back to center. Beautiful. Now from here, we're gonna do that little sneaky movement, bringing the other hand up. Come into play the peepaw. Slowly, take your time, bringing your legs back in. No rush, we have all day. And then circling those hands around, leaving that foot out there, and then moving the other foot back a little. Right into parting the horse's mane on the other side. That's what we call this movement. Right here where our hands are sliding past each other, we're soothing the wild horse, smoothing its crazy mane, separating the hairs, laying them down, untangling all the knots. Sometimes we all have to take a few minutes to just slow down, untangle things, get ourselves sorted. Last one here. And then that bottom hand sneaks up and under, circling around nice and wide. Bring your feet in, big hug. Open out wide. And sink the chi. Beautiful. Coming back to those big, heavy, slow movements. Dripping like candle wax. Wow. Sometimes when I do this one, I like to imagine a candle in front of me. And I time my movements to be slow like the wax dripping down the sides. Imagining the flame flickering as I'm breathing in and out. The smell of my favorite candle. One more. And then from here, we're going to slide our hands right back off the ends of our knees. Load them up. Open out nice and wide. And circle in to hold the ball. From here, we're going to step one foot out and then bring that hand up, almost like we're tossing the ball, but we're going to just bump with our wrist and then circle right back in. Bumping with the back of our wrist, like we're trying to nudge a door open. Beautiful. And then we're gonna sneak our hands up and around, come right back into that big wide open hug. Open back out. Circling and then on the other side, stepping that foot out, bumping just with the back of the wrist. And then one more. Bringing the hand up, coming in, making the big hug, opening out, and then circling in on the other side. Stepping out, this time we're going to do one bump with the wrist, and then the other hand is going to come up, and we're going to draw down like we're scooping down a long, smooth, silky blanket, or maybe the soft feathers of a peacock's tail. Feeling the silkiness of the feathers. One more. And then dragging it back to the center, opening out nice and wide, pull that foot in. One more, and then circling around, stepping out, one bump, and then feeling that peacock's tail. Looping around, drawing your hands down and around. Beautiful. Last one, and then we're going to come back to that big hug. Pull the foot in, open out wide, and then hold the ball on the other side. Stepping out, one bump, one stroke of the peacock's tail, and then we're gonna flick our hands to the side and push forward. Stroking down the tail, flicking our hands like we're flicking water off our fingertips, and then push forward. One more. And then pull in, open out nice and wide, circle in on the other side, stepping the foot out, one bump, one long stroke, flick, and push. Beautiful. Five, stepping the foot in, holding the ball, going back to the first side, one bump, one stroke, flick the water away, and press. And then our hands slide apart and we push and pull, just like at the beginning. Beautiful. One more. Pulling in and pushing out. And then coming back in, opening wide. And embracing the moon or holding the ball on the other side. One bump. One stroke down the peacock's tail, flicking away the water drops. Pressing forward, hands slide apart and push and pull. Last one. And then pulling in, opening wide. And now we're going to put all the parts together. Holding the ball, stepping out, all the way through one bump, one stroke down the peacock's tail, one press, and one push and pull. And then pulling back in, opening wide, going straight into the other side. And you are doing grasping the bird's tail all the way through. Beautiful, you've got it. That last push and pull. And then come back into the center, opening out nice and wide, and then sink the chi. Congratulating yourself on grasping the bird's tail. It is a fairly long and complex movement, and you just nailed it. Great job. From here, sliding your hands off the ends of your knees, floating back up, opening out wide. And then from here, we're going to reach one hand in, drawing the bow, sinking down. And then from here, reaching out long and coming back into center, sweeping up, opening out, drawing the bow. And actually, we'll reach out with the other hand, nice and long, and then sweep up and under. Opening out, drawing the bow this direction this time, and then reaching out long, sweeping up and under. Perfect. Going the other way, drawing the bow, reaching out, sweeping up and under. One more. on each side. Gotta keep it even. Draw the bow. Reach out long. Sweeping up and under. From here, letting the palms sink back down to the lap. Flipping over. Sliding off to the sides. And then we're going to come all the way out to the sides. Up and over. A little higher. Rising up to the sky. And then sinking down all the way to our lap. Bouncing up and around. Circling out nice and big. Rubbing the Buddha's belly. Bouncing back up to the heart. And then down off the sides of the lap. One sink the chi. And then bouncing right back up to your heart. Make that diamond shape with your fingers. And press forward, opening your heart, opening your chest. Sharing some light and love and energy, sending it out into the world. Stretching just as far as you can. Reach, 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 reach. Oh, and then relaxing down. And then do it again. Palms flip up. Hands drip off and rise out to the sides. Up and over, nice and high. Right down through the middle. One more. Up and around. Scooping up and under. Falling back to our laps. And then one sink the chi. And then our music is finished. So that means we are finished. So bouncing up for one last heart opener. Stretching out. Nice and big. Even further than last time. Reaching as far as you can. Feeling the energy, the light and the love coming back to you from the other side of the screen. And then relax. Let your hands rest on your knees. Take a moment just to breathe in nice and big. And then breathe out nice and loud. And again, big breath in. Big sigh out. And one more. As big as you can. And as loud as you can. And then we are all done. Thank you so much for coming out to play today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next Wednesday.